Good afternoon, welcome back to the off-grid property. We are here in December. The last time I was here was September. Yes, September. It's been 3 months since I've been here. In the last video, I talked about plans of coming back here on my vacation and getting a whole bunch of stuff done, but that did not happen. I did not come back up here. There was a lot of stuff going on at home, stuff that really needed my attention. And this became much less important during that time, so I went ahead and stayed home and worked some things out. So I'm finally back. Had some issues with the solar power. I noticed a couple of weeks ago I stopped getting, I was unable to view my surveillance from home, and I knew that the power was out, and it was my mistake. Human error. I've got the little cabin running off the generator right now because I just want the batteries to charge. So my charge controller inside is 150 volt maximum. With the panels that I currently have right now, in the summer, no problem. And right now at whatever it is, 45, 48 degrees, no problem. But when the temperature drops, it gets really cold, the voltage on solar panels goes up and it exceeds the maximum on my charge controller and it shuts it down. So my batteries have not been getting a charge very good at all, if any. And when I got here, the voltage was 11.7 volts, which is no good, not good at all. So I ended up running the little cabin off of my homemade solar lithium power station that I built, and I've shown in a couple of videos. I went ahead and ran the cabin off of that last night, got the fridge going, got it cooled down. Everything's nice in there. Had a fire because it was pretty cold last night. And I went ahead and did some maintenance on my battery bank. A couple of the cables had some corrosion and stuff on them. So I took those off and sanded them down and cleaned everything up. Filled up all the water on all my batteries. It took almost 2 gallons. Not the worst, but not the greatest either. But got that all going, and now I've got just the batteries charging. I even have my inverter turned off. So we're in absorb at 14.7 volts. I want them to get into float mode before I'll go ahead and start running the little cabin off the solar power here. I think if I had a little more time in the day, we'll see where the batteries get here in a little bit. If I can get them into float, and we still have plenty of sunshine, I'll go ahead and do a equalize on my batteries for about an hour or so, just to kind of help straighten them out a little bit. But they are at their end of life. They don't hold a charge very long. I can go basically all night in the cabin there with the fridge and TV and everything else, you know, the internet and all that stuff, my cameras. I can go all night, but by morning it's getting down pretty low voltage. So those batteries are at end of life. I will be upgrading in the future to a lithium battery system, so 48 volt. Also, when I went inside, I got here yesterday late, like probably 5 p.m., something like that. I went inside the shipping container, tried to turn the light on in there, and nothing would come on, and my inverter was screaming at me with an alarm. I didn't know what was going on. Checked the voltage in there on my battery bank in there, and it was also at 11.7 volts. I was like, what's going on here? Everything's at 11.7 volts. Well, it turns out, and this is also my bad, I should have taken care of this a long time ago, and I've kind of neglected this project, but here are my solar panels for the shipping container solar power system. It's just 400 watts. They used to be up there until Mother Nature brought them down here. I loosely and not the greatest idea, but I ran cables across the ground, up inside. They go to my charge controller, charge the batteries. Well, we get a lot of big, gigantic critters that walk through here, cows, and it looks like they tripped over the negative cable and literally snapped it in half. I don't know how that broke, but they're pretty strong. That was the other end off of it. So these two ends used to be together and it broke there. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty serious. He must have really got tangled up in it. But I went ahead and spliced it back and just put some electrical tape on it just to get a charge on those batteries. And temporarily, while I'm here, I'm just going to put some stuff here so the cows don't walk through here. Just so they don't walk through here and trip on my cables. And then eventually, I'll set up a permanent system. I'll go ahead and dig a trench here, put some conduit in, and then run conduit right inside the building here, and then that'll be taken care of. But in the meantime, this is what I've done, and no, it's not ideal. It's pretty lazy, actually, is what it is. But it's been working for the last couple years, so yeah, you know. Looks like we had some pretty gnarly weather, and my tar paper is coming off the roof up there, which is not ideal. And I don't have any more here. So hopefully we don't get too much rain or snow. It's been pretty dry up here. It hasn't done much up here this winter, so it's actually pretty warm right now. I think it's about 48 degrees if I could remember the last time I looked at it there. It was 21 degrees when I got up this morning, 6:30, and I think it's about 48 right now. So it's actually nice. I could take this sweatshirt off. It's not bad out here. But the tractor has not ran since I was here last, and I need to get it started because I need to get this out of my trailer. It is a dryer from my house. I can't, uh-oh, there it is. Things got all moved around. This dryer we bought new in 2011. So we've had it for almost 15 years, or sorry, almost 14 years. So 13 years. It's been a good dryer, but I've had to do some maintenance to it over those 13 years. I've had to replace the drum belt on this twice because teenagers stuff the washers as full as they can get it, and then the washer doesn't wring out all the water in the spin cycle, and then they dump all of that heavy wet clothes in here, and it's just too much. It's too much strain on the belts. You can't load these up with heavy loads, like wet loads. They'll just burn the belts up. So that's what's happened in this twice. And I've replaced the drum rollers. They look like rollerblade wheels. They're around the drum, I believe front and back. And I've had to replace those before. Well, I'm starting to have an issue, I think, with one of those drum wheels. I think it's kind of sounds like metal on metal. So we got tired of messing with this. I'm done fixing it right now. we just went ahead and bought another one, almost identical to this, because it's a good dryer if you load it properly. But we bought another one, so this one's coming up here. I'm going to get new drum wheels and a new belt for it, and it'll be as good as new. All I have to do is go ahead and get the little orifice that you can get online at appliance parts stores, and just unscrew the old one, put the new one in, and then this can run off of propane instead of natural gas, which it currently runs off of. So pretty simple to do. When I do that in the future, I will go ahead and show you guys, because I've got a couple of people that have been interested in how that's done, based off of my original laundry off-grid video I did, or whatever it was called. So I'll go ahead and show how that's done. Pretty easy and pretty quick. So yeah, that's got to come out. I think I'm going to go ahead and put that over where my current washer and dryer are. I'm going to get that old dryer out of there, move it over by my storage pile over out back there, and go ahead and put this dryer in that place there. And I'm not going to carry that all the way over there, so I'm going to use the tractor to move it. And what else? Yeah, bought the wife a quad, finally. Here she is, a little dusty, a little dirty from the road up. It is a 2003, I believe, Suzuki Eiger Quad Runner 400. It's all set up for camping and hunting. Got your rifle mounts here and one up there. It's got fairly low miles on it. I got it from a friend, a new friend, and yeah, he gave me a pretty good deal on it. I really couldn't pass it up. I've been looking for something like this, four-wheel drive, just a beast, powerful, and it'll pretty much go through anything, and it runs great. So one thing I got to do is fix a couple of things. There's a crack here all the way around. He used to hold quite a bit of weight on here, and over the years, I think just the strain has broken this. And the frame mount that this rack mounts to underneath, it is also broken, and I can't show you right now because it's broke. So I gotta get that welded back. But other than that, this thing is in great condition. I'll probably pick up a couple of front tires for it in the future. Yeah, it's a great little quad. It's high and low gear, four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive. It even has a 12-volt cigarette lighter socket over there. Oh, I better get off this, I'm breaking it. My bad. Anyways, I should have come up here. Yeah, so nice little quad. We've already taken it out in the desert and run it. I went ahead and already got this registered, and he installed turn signals right there, turn signals front and back. He had mirrors and a horn, and this thing is street legal in Arizona. So it is registered for the highway, or the roads anyways, not the freeway, but the highways. So got to have that if you go in places like the Kofa Wildlife Refuge. Every vehicle there has to be legal for the street, so that's why I went ahead and got that, so we can take this out there sometime. But yeah, it's a really nice running quad. Put miles and miles on it a couple of weeks ago, and it runs like a top. So happy to have it, and my wife is extremely happy. Win for me. I don't think that's gonna stay up here though. I'm gonna just take it out and run it out to my friend's place over there, my neighbors. Go say hi to them. What else? And I'm gonna try to get a little bit of insulation stuffed in there before tonight. Oh, I also need to run out and get some firewood. I think I'm just about out of firewood. So, and that is not ideal. Yeah, so. We'll take a look and see what's on the game camera here in a little bit. I went ahead and went over and got the game camera. I don't know if it got much because it was on the ground. Some critter got a hold of it and pulled it out of its strap, and it was laying on the ground. So I don't know what we got on it, but I know that there have been a lot of elk through here recently, because just walking from here to that tree where I have the game camera, tons and tons of elk poo scattered all over the place in different little groups. So there have been a lot of elk through here. Anyways, I've already been pretty busy today, and I've still got a lot more to do, so I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys down, and I'm gonna get some work done, and then I'll get back with you guys later. All right, well, the tractor has not been fired up in the last 3 months, and it's been pretty cold here, so the battery might be dead. I did bring a jumper just in case, but let's go see if it'll fire up. Yeah. All right, I gotta figure out what kind of battery they put in those things, because there've been a couple of times where I've been away from that thing for months and months, and then it fires right up. That's awesome. This thing runs great. I love it. Perfect. All right, so on that dryer over there, I never covered up that hole, the vent for the exhaust, and critters have been going inside the vent, making nests for the last several years. You know, and you turn the dryer on and it blows all that stuff out of there, but I don't want any critters getting in here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just cover that up real quick. Perfect. All right. Now the critters won't be able to get in there and make a nest. It'll work out just fine. Perfect. All right. The original pair are back together once again. We bought that washer and that dryer at the same time when we first bought our house. So there they are once again. No, they don't match. That's LG, that's Whirlpool. We don't care. We get stuff when we got stuff back then when we could barely afford it. So that's what we did. Anyways, that's done. I'm gonna go ahead and move this thing around to its friend, the washer over there. And I'm gonna go unload that quad. All right, well, it's that time of year where the sun is much lower in the sky. Normally it would be straight up there, but now it's over there, which is great for me because I get to wear regular hats. When the sun is much lower in the sky, it has far more atmosphere to shine through and less chance of it burning my translucent skin. So I don't have to worry about my ears, skin on my ears burning off like it does in the summer. And I typically wear a ball cap, so. The cowboy hats are nice because they keep the sun off me, but they're kind of bulky, sometimes they get in the way. But anyways, I'm gonna unload this bad boy and see if we can get started. It is carbureted, so I don't know how it's gonna run at this altitude. It's used to basically sea level. And here we are now at 6,300 foot elevation. So we'll see how she does. All right. Man, she got real dirty on the way up here. Oh, geez, look at that. Just covered in dirt. Damn it. This road, man, is something else. Just filthy. Anyways, that's the quad. I still got to change the plate. It's got my buddy's old plate on it. Pretty nice running little thing. Oops. It runs pretty good, yeah. Goes fast. It's got a lot of power. Damn. Anyways, I'm gonna go run it and try to knock some of the dust off of this damn thing. Well, why don't we see if she starts? Well, I forgot to mention, it's electric start, but it also has a pull start. So if you ever, your battery ever dies and you're out in the middle of the woods or somewhere, you can pull start it. I've done it. It's not fun, but it'll start. All right, let's see what happens. There we go. All right, guys, she is running. I did have to play around with the idle screw a little bit, and I'll probably have to adjust it down once it warms up. I had to turn it up pretty high, but it's not warmed up. It'll take a little bit to warm this thing. This thing's cold-blooded, but once it warms up, it runs great. It's pretty quiet though, not too loud. Nothing, nowhere near as loud as my red quad. But yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, has reverse, high and low. Here's the two-wheel drive. Flip that down, you're in four-wheel drive. It's got a speedometer. It has 1,956 miles, and I put about 25 miles on it. So there was like 1,929 miles when I got it, which is not bad. And yeah, it's street legal. So it's got a brand new carburetor put on it. The guy I bought it from, my friend, he just had work done to it because it had been sitting for so long in his garage, it just wouldn't run. So they put a new carburetor on it. And All the tires are really old and dry rotted, so I'll have to probably replace those in the future, but I'm just gonna wear them down. This thing is completely shaft drive too. No chain. Yep, just straight shaft drive. It's pretty cool. It's got a place for a ball hitch on the back. This thing's ready to do some work and hopefully give years of fun to my wife. So, all right, I'm gonna go take this thing for a rip and go see my neighbor. I'll see you guys back here in a little bit. Good morning. It's the next day. I did go ahead and take the quad over to my neighbor's place out there. She doesn't like this altitude, so it starts up just fine when it's been sitting for a while. It'll idle just fine, but as soon as you start to drive down the road, it starts sputtering, and if you get off the throttle at all, it'll just die. And I've played with the idle screw, and it doesn't seem to make much of a difference. As soon as you come to a stop and you let off the throttle, it'll just die, and then it takes forever to start. So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out some different jetting for that carburetor so it'll run better up here. It runs great down in the desert where I live, but this is a totally different altitude up here, much higher, and she don't like it. So I'm gonna have to work on that. Unfortunately, sorry to get you guys out of what little sun we have. Unfortunately, the game camera was a bust. I got to get a new game camera. I keep saying this, but I really do. Somehow that thing reverted back to factory settings after I turned it on and left. I don't understand why it does it, but every video clip on there was from 2021, and I have no idea what time it was, so don't know the date or time. And unfortunately, it was quite windy after I left here for days, and it just recorded the trees blowing around in the wind and the weeds, and that's pretty much it. I got a couple of video clips of rabbits at night, but nothing to really speak about. And yeah, it was basically 300 clips, video clips of just trees blowing around. So pretty disappointing. I know there was all kinds of elk through here and cattle, but none of it was picked up on my camera because the memory card filled up with a bunch of nothing, and then something knocked it off the tree. So I got to get a new camera. I got to get a good one, a very, very good quality game camera with good software on it, you know, just reliable software. So by the time I got back here from my neighbor's place, it was getting dark-ish, and the temperature was dropping very quickly, so I basically just scrambled and got the wood stove ready for a fire, and by then it was dark, so I didn't get much else done around here. Let's talk about my battery bank. So I had it charging most of yesterday after doing all the maintenance I did to it, cleaning the cables and putting water in them and all that. But yeah, they don't hold the charge. I ran the little cabin here off of the battery bank over there for about, I don't know, 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours, and that was it. It shut down. So, and that was after a full charge. So pretty disappointing, but I knew it was coming. So my next big purchase here is going to have to be a new power setup over there, lithium and all the whole works. So that'll be the next big one. So right now I'm currently just running the generator to help put some kind of charge into those batteries, because it's been very cloudy. This is the first time we've seen any kind of sun, and you can't really see it up there, but it's been very cloudy all day today, so I've had no solar basically, maybe a couple 100 watts. But yeah, so that's what we're doing there. I've got most everything kind of packed up and ready to go. Still got to put the tractor away, and I got to figure something out over here temporarily. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I got to cover up these these cables over here and keep the cows and the elk from walking through here and tripping over these cables. So I don't know what I'm going to do over here. I might just grab some brush that I've cut down over here. I've got quite a bit of it. Yeah, I'll just drag the brush over here and lay it across here. Just create like a little natural barrier so they don't walk through here and trip over them. And then the next time I come up here for a more extended stay, like more than one day, like I usually do, I'll go ahead and throw some new cables on here and run some conduit. I'm going to bring the tractor back here and try to pull up some of these rocks. Pretty big rocks, but put some conduit in the ground and make this a more permanent setup. So, I don't know what time it is. It is, I can't even see my dang watch. Oh, yeah, it's getting kind of late. It's about 11:30. But I want to get some insulation put in here. Just a little bit. Every little bit helps. Made a mistake last night. It's the first time I've tried it, but sorry guys, it's a little dark in here. Yeah, turn a light on. So, using the wood stove, night before last, I had that thing loaded up pretty good when I went to bed. And when I woke up at 6:30, it was all but just about gone. And it was getting a little, the temp was coming down in here. It was about 58 degrees, which is not terrible. You know, and it was 21 outside, but I thought I could prolong that a little bit by slowing the burn down just a little bit more. This does have a, what do you call it? Intake control, air control lever on it. So you can get it ripping and roaring and then push the lever in and it slows down to just a light burn, which is nice because it slows your consumption of firewood down, and I think it burns a little more efficiently that way. But I thought I'd close the damper that I installed when I first put this in just a little bit to slow it down a little bit longer, or a little bit more, to keep it burning a little bit longer through the morning. And that was a bad idea. So I couldn't see where it was coming from, the smoke, but man, this place smoked out pretty bad. I could not figure out how this or where the smoke was coming out, but because you couldn't see it with a bright light, just couldn't see it. But it got really smoky in here, and I had to open windows and sleep with the windows open. So it was pretty bad. I won't ever do that again. I'm going to take that dampener out of there. So it's pretty much useless with this stove in this space. So yeah, won't do that again. All right. I think right now I'm gonna start putting some insulation in, just a couple stretches of it, just to get something else done before I leave. I'm not sure. I may do that back wall. It'll be kind of a pain with my little ladder stairs there, and I don't feel like taking those off right now. So I'll kind of have to just work around that. But yeah, I'm going to probably get working on that for just a quick little bit, and then I'm going to get out of here. So let me get something done, and I'll get back with you here in just a little bit. going in pretty smooth. I like it. It's going to be a bit of a pain to get back behind that little landing there. I kind of feel like I should take that off. Maybe I can work around it. I can't get to that bottom section underneath to staple it off. I'll have to do that later when I take this off. All right, I think I'm going to stop right there. That last piece is going to be a narrower cut, and I don't feel like dealing with the waste of that right now and putting it somewhere. I've got a whole piece outside that I want to leave whole for now. I want to wait until I get all my whole pieces in, and then all these little ones I can cut up from what's left over. I have plenty of insulation to do this, the rest of this cabin. I don't want to start hacking stuff up until I get to the end and I have scraps left over. So yeah, I don't know what that took me, about 30 minutes maybe, in and out cutting, trying to get around this whole dang thing, but it goes together pretty quick. And it's not like rocket science, you know. It's pretty simple. It's just kind of a pain. You have to wear a mask. If you don't, you'll pay for it later, which I have made the mistake of doing before. You know, and then you get it on your hands, and it gets on your clothing, and then it ends up everywhere else. It's all over my jacket right now, my sweatshirt. So I'll be taking this off. I will not be wearing this in my truck. But yeah, it's just chipping away. It's something I don't like to do. because it's not fun. But I think the next time I come up, I will finish this, well, do this wall here. I just got to move all this stuff away to get back there. What else when I come up? I don't have a good power setup here anymore, which is a problem. Yeah, so I'm going to start doing some research online and figuring out what I'm probably going to get here in the somewhat near future, as far as battery bank and all-in-one power system out there for the power room, because it's really nice to have power here on demand whenever you want it, whenever you need it. It makes being here a little bit more comfortable and just feel a little bit more like home, you know. So plus I use it when I work around here. I don't like using the generator if I don't have to. It's just a pain. And it makes noise, and I don't like all that noise. I'd like to just hear the natural, you know, atmosphere here. So, all right, I'm gonna get all packed up. Where are my glasses? I'm gonna get all packed up. I'm mostly there. Just have a couple things to do. Lock everything up. I went ahead and put the tractor away. And I gotta make a couple of stops when I leave here. I'm gonna stop over and say bye to my neighbors, and then I'm gonna say bye to another neighbor further down the road. And then I gotta get home. 6 hours, fun. Anyways, that's gonna probably do it for this one, you guys. Sorry we didn't have much for as far as the game camera, actually anything. Nothing worth posting. It was just a couple rabbits and then the wind. So hopefully I'll figure something out here in the future and get a better system going for that. But yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. You guys take care, be safe, have a great rest of your month. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. And I'll see you in the next video.